Hello and welcome to Pacific Dialogue. I'm your host, Jia Wei. Today we are joined by a very special guest, Zheng, President of the American Chamber of Commerce in Shanghai. And on that note, welcome to our show. We're really happy to have you with us and just really want to hear your insights on one of the most important trade relations in the world, China-US.
Glad to be with you.
So my first question is, this year is the 110th anniversary of AmCham Shanghai, which was founded in 1915. So how did the Chamber's role evolve over the past century?
In 1915, 45 American businessmen got together at the Palace Hotel on the Bund. It's called Peace Hotel now. And they decided to establish the American Chamber of Commerce. And back then it was the third American chamber overseas after Paris, Manila. So even in the early 20th century, there were already quite a lot of American business people based in Shanghai. Companies, Citi and Citibank and American Express, those companies were already quite active. In those early years, AmCham played this role of network, right? Allowing business people to get to know each other, to help each other. We left in 1950, but came back in 1987 because China was reopening to the outside world, and many of American companies started to invest in China. So many of our companies felt like there's a need to reestablish AmCham. And I think our new missions certainly is to connect with people and then to advocate for our member companies and then inform our member companies. So it's CAI, so connect, advocate, and inform.
What is the current state of China-US trade relations? And amid all of these trade tensions that you just mentioned, how are companies in both countries, China and the US, trying to stay afloat and helping to manage trade flows?
There are certainly challenges, mostly structural. The US certainly buys a lot more than it sells to China, so that's why we have a roughly $300 billion worth of trade deficit. Fundamentally, I still believe that the US and China's economies are complementary to each other. China is one of the US largest export markets. The same is true for the US market for China. Working with USDA, US Department of Agriculture, we officially participated in CRE 2 years in a row by having our own pavilion, what we call American Pavilion for agriculture and fruit products. The first time we participated, we signed over 500 million US dollar worth of contracts, over 500, right? Less than 1 week. And last year, we in fact managed to sign deals worth of 711 million US dollars. It's an easy number to remember, 711. For this year's CIE, there will be another American pavilion promoting US ag products. Why ag? Agriculture. When you look at the US, it's one of the largest agricultural products exporters. And China is one of the largest importers for ag products. So there is a complementary relationship right there. My hope is that we can continue to find common ground. There are areas for growth for both countries. For instance, certainly China needs products from the US, energy, high-tech products, certainly cell phones, computers, and I think American consumers love Chinese products too. So we just need to figure out a way how to complement each other so that both economies, both peoples will benefit from this trading relationship.
So how are your members of AmCham Shanghai, responding to the growing talks in the US or in the larger global community about reshoring and decoupling from China? And to what extent does China still matter for the US businesses today?
I think decoupling is not the way to go. Many of our companies are pursuing this so-called China plus one strategy. China remains the most important source of products and services, but at the same time, you need an alternative, like a plan B, just in case, to increase what they call resilience or resiliency. That's certainly happening, but companies are not leaving this country simply because this market is so strategic and significant for most of our members. Many of our companies are in China for China. And so that's number one, the market itself. And number two is its manufacturing capacity. Over the past several decades have built up this what we call manufacturing ecosystem. You have the infrastructure, you have the manufacturing capacity, capability, you have the talent, the workers, and you got the natural resources and the government, very supportive government policies. That's a total package. There are other countries that can do part of that. People always talk about Southeast Asia, like Vietnam or India, but they're not quite there yet. People talk about, friendshoring, nearshoring, and even reshoring. But at this point, you just can't find another country that can simply just replace China from a sourcing perspective. I would even go further by saying in the next few years, even 5-10 years, it will be very difficult to find another country like China. So that's why our companies remain committed to this market.
So what's your outlook for the future of China-US trade relations, and in what specific areas do you see the biggest potential for deepening cooperation and trade?
We're hopeful that the two countries can work. Particularly, we have global issues, right? Global challenges like, climate change, public health, even AI. We all talk about AI. How about AI governance? This is not something that one single government or single country can decide. Climate change, there are so many areas for us to work together. Clean energy, for instance, new energy vehicles, lithium batteries, for instance. CATL is one of the leaders. And you got BYD and so forth. These are very, very innovative companies. I'm very happy to learn that, Tesla, our member, has already launched its energy storage project in Shanghai, in addition to its EV gigafactory. I think the situation is evolving now. When we came here, say 87, when we reestablished our chamber, China wasn't that developed back then, right, in the 80s. And US companies could easily bring some products and services to China and could make them successful in China. But now I think we can learn from Chinese partners also, because many of these companies are very, very innovative. So I'm quite optimistic. There are plenty of opportunities for the two sides to work together despite all the challenges.